Welcome back to Champions, where Sentinels take map 1 Ascent over Furia. And Jess, I'm going to dive straight into it. On the back half, it was all Shazam, the guy who does it all. IGL, top fracker, top ACS. What's going on?
You know what? He's also got the highest economic rating throughout the entire map. He got 1 4K, 1 3K, 1 2K. I mean, the man did everything. Everything that an analyst ever wants to look at on the stats, he was like, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and I have more to break down than I ever got time.
I mean, it started early on here. He was a part of that odd man retake on the first half that was part of the kind of momentum swing during that attacker side. You know, it was a 5-0 start for Furia, and then he's able to kind of get his team in the right place. They come from odd angles onto that B retake, and they start to change the ball, the way the ball is rolling in that round.
And while we celebrate Shazam, and rightfully so, I also just want to mention Khalil on the other side. We highlighted him before the series even began. On the KJ of all things, himself top fragging for the team and almost keeping his team in it and carrying them over the line. But again, Shaz, Tens, the two of them were finding the kills here, particularly on the back half.
Yeah, the back half was where I really felt that Sentinels caught their form. You heard the boys on the casting desk turn around and go, that looked shaky at the beginning. I mean, this is a Furia map pick, so we do expect that Furia should be the ones leading the charge. And in the first half, we didn't really know which way it was going to go, but we know, and social media is the key to this, a lot of the Sentinel guys said they're a little bit nervous. Fair enough, no problems, come in, shake off the nerves, and they were able to lock out that map 1 win.
For me, one of the biggest turning points, while it is smack dab in the middle of 5-round wins for Sentinels, it's going to be that round number 17, the 2v4 turnaround. I was writing some notes, and I even quoted DDK, the bodacious round 17 from Furia, and then boom, it just whips around in favor of Sentinels there, having the guns, of course, in their favor. But to win that 2v4, I think, is what kind of accelerated them and gave them that extra little bit to just kind of go right over the edge.
Yeah, you were kind of seeing a little bit of funny stuff here from Furia. You're seeing the Marshall out of Khalil, something he's not typically known for, frankly. And he landed a couple really nasty shots there, one through the smoke with it. That set them up really nicely. But this is what the Sentinels are so good at, the recovery, the patience. They hold angles so well. They're so disciplined. They wait for the right moments, and you heard the guys on the cast talking about it, that, you know, they kind of are trying to bait Furia into a bad situation. They never bite, but it doesn't matter. The better guns, the better positioning, the better firepower comes through.
We'll be back to talk in just a bit, but for now, we're going to head over to High Pocket, the Telestrator, see what he's got for us.
Thanks so much, Sachi. And actually, yeah, I want to talk about one of these early rounds on from Furia. Very, very fast hit onto B site. And I think a byproduct of the pace that Furia started off with in their attacking half, at least. And really how quickly, you know, things kind of spiraled out of control. I mean, we start off initially, the setup from Sentinels is kind of covering the entire map. We're obviously looking for that total map control. As you see on the mini-map here, it's initially a stack of 3 towards A, Tripwire in mid, and 2 members, Tens being one of them over towards the B side with that operator. And as we let to play through, again, the setup initially very heavy lean from Furia over towards B. I think start off, I mean, pretty normally, honestly. The Owl drone comes through mid. As we see, it will deal with the trap wire, which I know was noted in the cast there, and that's actually the green light, I guess, for this rotation to come through. Now, what's interesting to happen after this, Tens actually looks to, I guess, a little curious in towards B main with the operator. An unfortunate miss here, but the crucial thing being here, it's almost a mystery from Sentinels. I mean, they lean forwards here looking for this pick, again, ahead of the execution. Tens, unfortunately, doesn't get back to cover with this dash and able to close the distance here. Now, it gets interesting. You can see just on the side of the screen here, the Hunter's Fury comes through. On the X-ray, we did see the wall up through the window as well. Now, there's literally no fallback. There's no contingency on the back of this setup on defense here. And the other thing that gets thrown through, this Cosmic Divide. Dapper actually swings ahead of it here just to try and get a kill. He's isolated as well. At this point here, the setup, I mean, within 15 seconds, this round is completely ripped back from initially Sentinels, like I said, looking for total map control with a utility setup and where they have people positioned. And I think a really good personality piece for Furia, which, you know, regionally we talk about how aggressive some of these teams are, but it's the coordination as part of this here. Again, just a little touch there with the updraft behind the Cosmic Divide, sorry. Makes it very difficult for Sick to fight his way back in. And I think a really interesting round, like I said, is a byproduct of that early aggression we saw from Furia. Unfortunately, I think things kind of slowed down after that, but this is a really good example of how these pacey hits are so well put together. Back to Dash.
Thank you so much, Hypok. Great to see the heat that Furia came in with, but I'll reiterate part of what he said. Unfortunately, it petered out there near the end, and on their own map pick, that's where you would really look for them to lock it up in much the same way the Team Secret did to give us what was a very interesting first series of the day. And so I'm a little tentative, I'm a little scared for a team like Furia as we look towards Breeze as the next map where Sentinels has historically looked fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know what you can do against Tens on this map. He's just so filthy. Again, you see it with the Marshals, you see it with the Operators. These are guns that are so key on Breeze. Even with some of the angles that are cut off from the Viper utility and things like that, there's still a lot of space that you have to operate with. And so that's why I really look to, are we going to see kind of a response with the snipers from Furia?
Yeah, I mean, whatever you throw back at the side of sort of Sentinels and at 10 specifically, because we're going to a map where we expect him to be the space maker. Whatever you throw at him, it has to be good. Unfortunately, I also think it's going to have to be in numbers. And that's a big map to have to draw numbers across one side of the map or the other. So that's my problem with that. You're going to have to commit. Once you commit and you start losing bodies, they hit the ground. What do you do? What's the redundancy? Things will topple. That's a snowball, and we're not on Icebox, baby. We're going to be hitting the hot Breeze.
Yeah, we saw that a lot in Series 1. It was a 4-1 split, you know, defensively. Of course, it's Sentinels who's going to be on the defensive side to kick things off, but we're also going to take a look at how the players are warming themselves up for this second map of the series with our aim lab pre-match shoot-around mechanics that I wish I had. Shaz, the top fragger, making sure he stays warm with those fingers so he can keep clicking heads. And I wonder, too, how Tens is doing in that firing range because, again, we talked about him on Breeze, possibly the best Breeze player in the world when he even has a Marshal in hand.
Yeah, he controls space so well with any gun that he has in his hand, and then you get the Blade Storms as well to add on to it, right? He's got so many abilities, so many, assuming he's playing Jet. He sometimes doesn't, right? Sometimes you will see Shazam or somebody else play it, but I feel like I'm pretty sure he's playing Jet, so that's kind of where I'm going with it. But, I mean, it's that pinpoint accurate, utility and guns that he's so unbelievable with.
Do you want to know how accurate the man is?
I would love this.
You know what? We're going to do a guessing game.
Oh, boy.
Guess on attack in the past 2 times they've played this map. Tens is ACS. I'll even let you within a range.
320.
320?
I'll go 340.
454.
No.
Oh,
You're just making stuff up, right?
Yeah, I'm just getting on the desk and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be a Tens fangirl. That's what's up. 454 in the past 2 matches. That's on attack. We know that's where he's going to reign supreme. You're a little bit closer on defense.
That's
it's
gross.
390.
That's just gross.
But that's
okay, well, they start on defense, so 390, maybe that's surmountable. I don't know. As we get a reminder here as we jump to the giant AR map, we've mentioned this before, but it is a key factor when it comes to Breeze, the open space. Sentinels on defense. We'll see if Furia maybe going back to some of that pace setting that Hypok was just illustrating to us on the telestrator. We saw Gambit with some explosiveness on site takes, able to get the plant in 12 out of 12 rounds and defend it every single time. I gotta wonder if Furia is capable of something similar. I obviously don't expect a 12-0, but can they get onto the site? Can they start picking apart Sentinels and really spread the map out?
Yeah, I'd like to see them be a little bit more measured with their aggression, get a little bit more information, find out where Tens is, where those snipers are, and see if you can play around it. Now, that doesn't mean a lot because behind Tens, of course, is an unbelievably disgusting team. I mean, we've talked about him all day, but Zoms was great on that last match. Dapper was one of the big parts of their turnaround. Shazam, of course, is just, he had the highest ACS. All of it across the board behind Tens is so important.
No Killjoy? Okay, I was about to turn around and say, what can Furia do? Maybe hit the flanks up because they usually run a Killjoy instead of the Cypher. And Dapper goes, shut up, Jess, please. I have my flanks covered. You don't need to worry, girlfriend. It's all good. So I now have nothing to pick apart about this composition.
Yeah, it's that Cypher Viper combo that we have seen to great success before. Of course, it's just your pick. Which of the Sentinels do you like to see? So for Khalil, he's going to stick to that KJ, what he was finding individual success on in map number 1. We'll see if he can continue to be a difference maker for the squad and maybe give them a map win here and push us to that third and final. But they've got a lot of work to do, and as you mentioned, it's going to have to start on the attacking half. We'll see if they can kind of have that measured aggression that they need to start really bringing it to Sentinels.
Yeah, and I think one of the stylistic differences that's going to come into play here is the Killjoy, because that gives you an extra layer of post-plant utility on the attacker side with the Nano Swarms. So for this, you know, again, we talk about it already. I'm just kind of reinforcing the point of how important this attacker side is. And also, they haven't played this map in a long time. And when the last time they played it, attacker side was where they got their bread and butter done. They still lost to Keith Stars, but it's all about the attacker side here.
I mean, that's why most teams get their bread and butter done on Breeze, you know what I mean? They hit the attacking half strong, they go sit in their little lawn chair, whatever you guys call it, the beach chair. I come from Australia, so we got different funky words for everything. And, you know, under the palm trees and sit it nicely. But for those wondering, at least in the past couple of times Sentinels have played this, they have a pretty good split on both attack and defense. Yes, slightly a sort of attacking sided, but even in their last 2 games, they actually fared better on their defense. Comes out of starting side sometimes, of course, so it's going to skew it, but that doesn't mean that we can't look towards those stats and go, hang on, they might do good on both halves.
Well, it's going to be an uphill battle for Furia if they want to take us to a map 3 on Sentinel's choice. It's Breeze. Can they make it happen? DDK, Sean, over to you.
Can they make it happen? That's a great question, Dash. Again, we kind of set it up previously. Breeze, it's not necessarily the look for Furia that you would expect to have them find success against Sentinels on, but hey man, there's been a lot of time to prep, so we'll see.
7-map map pool, so you got to be good at 6 of them now, Dan, because you only get 1 ban.
Damn.
You only get 1 ban, and this is the triple elbow push coming out of Sentinels. So rare. They could have the option to go into mid where they would meet Xand. Right? I'm curious to see how Mazen is going to play this Sky over here at Elbow. The coordination between Xand and Mazen is really going to affect how this round plays out.
Yeah, will they be ready for the aggression? Tan's creeping down mid, gets a couple of spots, the damage comes through. It's Xantho to take down Dapper. Can he find anything else? Tan's still out there looking for the damage, and he will get it off of the distraction. And that's a good start ultimately here for Tens, because I mean they're looking for that information. Gonna get it, keep the pressure on. 3 versus 4 now for Sentinels as we see Furia beginning to move behind the wall towards that A site. You got Soms there as well, right behind that wall, and he's certainly ready to try to punish this one. Oh, he takes critical damage. Tens though, oh that looked painful from a distance. Comes Tens once again with the Sheriff. He's everywhere.
But look at this, Dan. Mazen is telling his team to come back over to this B site. You know, NCR is a little bit skeptical that there could have been a player that pushed mid, so moving at a snail's pace right now. But this B site is completely open. He has all the time in the world. The spike will go down. We'll be in a 2-on-3. And judging by the look of Mazen right now, he might take an aggressive ground on defender spawn, which would lead me to believe NZR is going to plant aggressively as well. This could get interesting.
Yeah, because they have to assume a rotation's coming from the defenders by now. So not seeing anyone in spawn is a good tell for Furia for this post-plant. Oh no, caught out in the open. It's all on Mazen. He at least has a ghost. So has more range to play with, but the wall comes through. Oh wow, it's tagged immediately. Quick pop flash through. It's going to see 2 players, but there's nothing that you can do about it.
No flash for 30 seconds, Dan. There's no time.
Just touches the wall, and he's already down to 6 HP. And there is the defuse. You're absolutely right. Sentinels, very well done. Off of the mid pressure. That was a very tenuous scenario for Furia to try to contend with.
Yeah, that's a very difficult scenario for Furia to deal with. I don't really see very often 3 players pushing out of elbow on B site, right? This was always designed to shut down any mid-aggression. So unlike, you know, the first map, Dan, which was Furia's choice, we now have Sentinels finally winning a pistol.
I got there, Ozzy.
That's a very good point.
Oof. Oh, look at this. We have another mid-stack here, and based on this spacing, this is going to be an A-split, but it won't even get there.
They've got the force coming through as well. It's the Sheriff to kick things off here for QCK. Furia, 5 versus 4, but Dapper, don't think they expect him here. Dapper could come out huge. Multiple players, and there he goes for it. It's actually Dapper to take down QCK, but now they spotted him. Can't get more. Oh, well, there. He absolutely can. Xand will go down, but Mazen with the trades leaves it in a 3v2 advantage. Zom's now trying to play the element of surprise again, but Furia have players in position, and they were able to deal with everything Sentinels have thrown at them so far. But it's the hardest test last.
Indeed. Tens remaining with this Guardian in hand. Spike still not planted. Just coming into the site right now. Mazen planting in that right pyramid.
Spike
That's close. Nice. spotted there, Mr. Guardian. Tens, oh, he can't get anything done, Marzen. That's 3 kills for Marzen, such an important player in mid, supporting his teammates, trading out, and it was a force buy. So Sean, yeah, Sentinels win their first pistol, but actually it kind of plays against them, doesn't it?
Yeah, they don't like starting these matches off on the right foot, do they, Dan? And this was a round where it just seemed like they were trying to flex their confidence that they ended that first map in, and it bit them. It bit them real hard. They overextended into mid, and Furia hit some nutty shots to punish them.
Yeah.
A site was lost so quickly.
Yeah, Furia have a great sense of where to take, they understand where the map is weak.
Yes.
Quite quickly. Looks like they want to go very quick into this B site. They've got the wall up. 2 players here. Can they make the entries work for themselves? Flashes to follow as well. Still though, Sick holding with that frenzy at the backside, but surely not long for this world. So many players coming through, and indeed, it's going to be Dapper to be able to do something. Only peeling off one hit, just have sneaks to the back lines, but just with the classic, will get denied. And 1 by 1, Sentinels not able to find the kills that they're looking for.
Just like that first map, Tens is just looking to get his ult orbs built up on this Marshall. It's pretty unlikely they actually, I say that, but 3 of these players can die from 1 Marshall shot, Dan. It could happen.
All kind of intermittently going up and down causes problems, and actually Khalil on the Killjoy, making it happen there, and that's almost a flawless, not quite, but 4 players survive, which is certainly key, because, of course, in the Sentinels, they force bought against Furia's previous force buy, and the force buy wars have been won by Furia.
I feel like I'm in some kind of force buy inception. Just everyone's force buying.
You know it.
Now, how does Sentinels approach this gun round, Dan? Because we have seen them play so aggressive in middle, and this is different, because now we have Shazam by the close A mid doors, we have Zoms locking down this A site, but again, we have Sick playing a bit aggressive over on B with a Sentinel player in Dapper. Very interesting combo. Fall back. This is such a different look from Sentinels, who typically had Zoms nesting in this B site, and they allowed Dapper to play Killjoy, actually, and play the A site. Such a different look that Furia is dealing with. They're trying to scout out the map, just get a feel for things, see how Sentinels are set up. You can see this is now going to be shifted towards the B site. So Viper has clung onto that wall, and you can see QCK is going to make his way over to B, where he's going to put that wall up. I'm curious if he does the same one as last round, Dan, or if he goes through that half.
I've got your trail.
It is. It's the same one.
And they're the Seekers as well. That's going to help them discover exactly where these defenders are. 2 on the site. After playing close to the pillar, wants to try to get these forward kills, and will be stuck in the snake bite there, unfortunately for him. And backside 6 going to go down. Another good execute comes through from Furia. The Viper's pick comes in, but Tens, he tries to get ahead of it. But again, look at all the vision that's just completely gone because of the Viper's pit. They're going to have to go into it. And Tens looks to find a timing. Oh, he actually catches it before the spike goes down. That's a huge kill. Now time is against him. Khalil on that flank, able to pick off one more. It's up to Tens, and Tens just, again, is such a coin flip in the Viper's pit, and Xan will take full advantage. 3-1 lead for Furia now.
Oh, man, I don't know what version of Sentinels we're seeing right now on the defensive side, Dan, but it's lacking all creativity and imagination. When I watch Furia come into the site, all of their utility is synergized so well with each other, right? Zan creating space with the dash, the guiding lights coming in from Mazin, the wall coming in from QCK, everything is perfect. But when you look at Sentinels, you just see, Dapper taking an individual fight at Pillar, Sick taking an individual fight over there in the corner. Everyone's taking individual fights on Sentinels, and that ended up working in the first map because their attack half bailed them out. But if they start bad here, it could be rough.
Yeah, we have, like we saw in the last anti-eco scenario for Furia, they just go for a site hit. This time it's A instead of B. Seekers are available for Sick, for Sentinels, if they want to try to go for a retake with them. They're already close. Here, Sentinels looking for the frags, but we have a beautiful display from Furia on this defense. Tens looking to wrap around. No HP. Can he find anything? No. It's the Prime Gaming flawless coming through for Furia. And once again, Sean, just like Ascent, it's a strong start. The question is, can they keep it rolling?
Yeah, they're going to need to keep it rolling right now because this is an attack-sided map, right? Ascent, I can argue it could go either way, right? But Breeze, it's such a big spread out map that you can really abuse the rotations when you slow things down, use this Viper Wall to cut off massive sight lines, and you can just bleed out the defender rotations. So being up 4-1 seems fantastic, but Sentinels could easily rally back and put them in a horrible spot to end this first half.
Oh, we might just get a straight contact through to this B site. They're just, in fact, yeah, absolutely going for it. There goes the dash. You talked about Exam being good at creating space for the team, and he's already got backside control, so they know that Sentinels are everywhere but here right now, and we're going to get a plant. And lots of util for the retake, including the Seekers available still for SIG.
Do have a lot of utility, Dan, but this is a scenario where in the past, Sentinels had a Viper Wall on the B site to work with on these retakes. This retake is going to be incredibly difficult, and if Khalil pops this lockdown, that's going to make it nearly impossible.
Yeah, that toxic screen going up again. It's really difficult to deal with. SIG is making some noise there on the flank, so they know that flank is compromised. But on the front, QCK will get all the kills from backside. Beautiful stuff there. Speaking of which, SIG able to get some damage in, but there's just simply not enough left. Furia, fantastic round, great take, and abusing, as you said, the fact that the toxic screen was already in play for Sentinels on the A site early on.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Sentinels has any answer to these B hits, Dan. It looks like they're only prepared to stop A hits, which is typically where the attacks happen on Breeze. Unfortunately, you have to stop the B ones too, Dan. You got to stop them both. And this B site is under siege right now, and that's going to open up the playbook for Furia. If I'm IGLing them right now, I'm thinking, man, we could just keep going B forever. We could fake B, and they would definitely bite. And it opens up this A site in rounds like this.
And this is the thing, you know, we've seen Fury oscillate between A and B on the anti-eco. This time, Tens does have that Blade Storm. He will be likely coming in through the mid doors. So he wants to get that action in early and get the kills in early. We'll see if he can find something. Again, that wall obscuring vision. Will we get an updraft? There comes the updraft. Tens able to take that one. 3 quick kills, quick succession comes through for Sentinels. And there's little response here right now from Furia. They are in a lot of trouble. And there goes the Thrifty in favor of Sentinels. And they're going to pick up a lot of guns.
Whoever wrote these scripts, Dan, it's getting old because this is like the same formula as Ascent. I feel like we're on the same formula. Tens Blade Storm comes out, huge round from SIG, Tens, Zoms. Everyone came up so big from Sentinels. They needed that to come back into this half.
Yeah,
we have mentioned it's an attack-sided map, but you cannot just get blown out of the water. It's not that attack-sided, and they do. You know, Furia has a lot to work with right here. That lockdown. It doesn't have as much impact on a massive map like Breeze, but still I have seen tons of success when Killjoys aggress into A halls and use it aggressively early round, or push up B. You know, use it in the middle of an execute as opposed to start the execute. Rounds like that seem very successful on Breeze, so I'm scared if I'm Sentinels right now. I'm gonna probably be, you know, resorting to, if they have a deeper gameplay than the one we've seen so far where they're taking individual fights, they're going to have to resort to that.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, and I think it is interesting in that, yes, as you say, it does look quite similar to the way the first map started in this series, but indeed, the looks on the defense are certainly, I mean, we're struggling to see hope in terms of a consistently good approach from Sentinels so far. Of course, there's still the rest of the half to play out, and we'll be kicking it off once again here. 5-2 and the lead off Furia.
This is their tried and true, right? I mean, the difference would be that Dapper is on Cypher, so now he can loan his trip over there to the doors lurk in halls. So he has one trip over by Tree, by Pyramids, and now Zoms is on this B site where he'll throw the Poison Orb at B main, he'll have the retake wall ready, and actually, if you look at that, the ult comes out right off the rip over there at B.
Yeah, the response here will be very interesting. How do Furia want to handle this? But first, we have this challenge in mid. Oh, the angle for Tens finds the perfect timing. Couldn't be better.
Couldn't be better. Yeah, that was very risky. Playing with the drone, catches the timing on Xhand, who actually has the Blade Storm as well. What a huge find.
And now it's even worse, because that Viper's put us down on B, and you know, it really is a question of what do we do here. And we can see them gravitating towards that B side. They do have, of course, as we can see, Marsden deep here towards halls, takes the fight. That was a pretty good fight to take, but unfortunately, it does not go Furia's way.
Yeah, and that's actually, I believe, Shaz's first frag of the game. So he's on the board now. And the elbow lurk is on for Furia. You can see that's their poison orb. They get behind it. They take the angle into Nest, push Shaz off, recollect that orb, and now pushing him back a little bit more.
But again, as it's a 3 versus 5,
30 seconds
or I should say 5 versus 3 from Sentinel's perspective, they don't have to do anything crazy here. They have eyes on every position. Playing for delay, playing for retake, you know, all of that works quite nicely in this scenario. And you can see that, in fact, Furia don't have time to even do anything here. They're going to save their weapons.
Yeah, they don't have time, or they don't have the right utility to even deal with this Viper's Pit, to be honest, right? If they had the drone still on NZR, if his recon recharged a little bit earlier than it just did, if Mazin didn't lurk through halls and had a Trailblazer still or guiding lights, it could have been done. But in a 5-on-3, like you mentioned, you know, you're probably better off taking those weapons in the next round. Smart choice there from Furia. They're looking at the long game here in this half. And I think, you know, based on what we saw on the first map, that could be very impactful if they have good buys late in the half.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think this was a great fight from Mazin. You're behind, you've got no map control. You have a 1v1, that's great.
Yes.
But as we said, doesn't go his way, and here we are. 3 to 5, I should say, on the scoreboard. Sentinels on the comeback.
Dan, this is different. These players look like they're going to go fast to the A halls, and this, yeah, that's an early pick, though, from Sick onto QCK at the B window. They have a 0 control utility, Dan. This is about to get real scrappy at the A site.
Yeah, this is a problem. This is a really huge problem. They're looking for something to be given. Shazam doesn't have to do too much, edging his way forward, spots the Trailblazer, knows exactly where Sky has to be. There's that Trailblazer, where's that peek? It's delayed! And Xan actually takes down Shazam. The bait and switch pays off here, and they'll trigger the push into the A site. And it's just up to these gunfights now as we see Sentinels trying to hold on to the pyramids. Ten's out there, large and in charge, but not for too much longer. Xan able to take him down. 2 versus 3 for Furia, though. Still a lot of work to do. And there's another frag as Dapper goes down.
Evening things up, Dan. We're now on a 2-on-2, but this flank from Sick is so timely. NCR's on the other side of Pyramids, though. I think they have a feeling that someone is on the flank. Look, they're pushing aggressively towards Defender spawn here.
Enemy remaining.
That's a flick and a half from Zoms, leaving Xan 27 HP left. You're going to get hit by the Seeker. My God, there's nothing you can do from that spot. 4 to 5. And indeed, Sentinels making it a repeat of that first map so far, at least.
Yeah, the comeback is kind of starting to look nice here. If you're a Sentinels fan, you know, clawing back into the half. Still find themselves down 4 to 5, but you know, it looks like they've made that shift on their defensive half, the one that we saw on Ascent. The shift here, though, is quite different. It's a positional shift. They've moved Zoms over to this B site. I can see him right now on the minimap actually setting up his wall there. So the difference in looks has clearly affected Furia a little bit here. They're getting caught off by the timings of certain agents on different locations. So
yeah,
big adjustment coming out of Sentinels to get to this point.
Yeah, I really like that we see another timeout here coming through from Furia. Because again, and speaking of adjustments, you know, in Valorant, you don't get too much time to make those adjustments. And Sentinels adjustments, switching Viper defensively over to B, that has really put Sentinels in a great spot. Without the threat to B that was previously there, without those quick pushes, without that util to deal with, Furia have nothing right now. So what do? It feels like going into A is not what they want to do against the likes of Tens and Dapper. So is it about mid control? You know, how do they try to find the pick by pressuring mid around that mid round? That's the question for me. Like, what is the adjustment? You can't just let Sentinels have this B control, because that's what's working for them.
Yeah, it really feels like Furia had a lot of focus early on mid control, and then they'd fall back into these B hits. The B hits have slowed down a lot. They're not working as well as they were earlier in this game, but we still see this same mid control default. I see the Viper lining up a poison orb for those doors up in halls. I see Sky over here at elbow, the Jet and Silver going for mid control. You know, Furia's sticking to the tried and true. They're working the map. This is what has worked for them thus far, and they're going to continue doing it.
Yeah, we'll get that deep poison orb there on halls as well to deny vision. Shazam's normally been the player spotting from that position. Ends with that mid-aggression, and he's going to get caught this time by NZR, so that's some revenge. 5 versus 4, it's the IGL's dream Sean, on the
Yes.
attack, you've got the whole round left to play with a minute and a half.
And you've taken out the player that does all the prodding and all the annoying stuff you have to worry about if you're that attacker IGL. So you can see now, now that Furia knows this, they're in this man-up scenario. They've pushed back A with the Killjoy utility. They know no one's pushed there. They push back A halls with the Poison Orb. They're quickly grouping for this B hit, and they need to do it fast because if you look at Sick on the minimap right now, he's pushing through halls. He's getting all the info. Shaz is already here at the B site, and Zoms is here as well with his wall up, with the orb there as well. This has to be explosive.
It certainly does, and they've been able to do that previously, but the snake bite stay lasts forever. It feels like that. A couple of frags come through. There's the Hunter's Fury. Is he going to get Zoms? Oh, you love to see that killer actually leading the fire. There's actually nowhere to stand. And they I don't know how Dapper does this, but 1v5, the double P comes in, and it's a Prime Gaming flawless out of Furia at the moment when they needed it the most.
Yes, that's gorgeous. I love seeing the paired ultimates from the initiators. Right there we saw the Seekers. So the Seekers go out, there's 3 of them. They're going to find, each of them find a separate player on the defender team. And this Sova pops the Hunter's Fury, and all you need to do is just follow the Seekers. You just aim where the Seekers are going.
Yeah.
That just seems like an OP combo of ults.
Well, like you say, ults were used there, but we do have Blaze Storm, we've got Viper's Pit, we've got the lockdown still. I don't believe we've seen Khalil's lockdown this half yet.
No, we haven't.
Here.
Let's be on the lookout for that. You can see he's lurking in these halls right now. I've seen a lot of Killjoys use their ults up here. He's made his way to the door. Oh dear, does he put it down right here, Dan?
That's a good question. I mean, Sick has got a lot of control in mid at the moment, so...
Oh, this is very, very aggressive. The Killjoy with the lockdown in hand goes up to the trip, and there's the ult that I was referring to. So he puts the alarm bot by the trip just to secure his ult, and his teammates are going to go with this. Look, it connects perfectly to that Viper's toxin screen, Dan. This is so drilled.
Yeah, that's actually gorgeous to see. It's play out there from Furia. Shazam will get delayed just a little bit more by the Nano Swarm there towards heaven. Sentinels waiting, trying to coordinate themselves for the retake through door, through spawn. Exam finding some good damage with those daggers, and Khalil as well gets one. Shazam picks up a double, but there's a Viper's Pit still yet to contend with, and he does not have a drone. Tens is just going to have to go straight into it, into the Viper's Pit. And it's just Tens now. What can he find? 3 players. Gets himself around the back, but Marzin with a very fast headshot to respond. 7-4, and it looks like we're diverging from the script of map 1 finally for Furia.
I think so. Furia busted out all of those ults you were talking about, Dan, in back-to-back rounds. 2 on the B round, 3 on this A round, and dang, did they look clean in these rounds doing so. I mean, I just want to draw attention too to that really cool aspect. The Viper drops the ult right there for that last kill. They know Tens is lurking in the ult, so she just drops the ult. Found ya. Real cool right there from Furia. But this is the round where they have no ults to work with, and we've seen Sentinels have a lot of success on these rounds, and we're back to it.
Well, oh, interesting. So we'll get the picks going both ways there, one in halls, and then one towards Dapper, who's actually pushing B. So what does that tell Furia about the A setup?
This is very aggressive from Shazam. He can hear a lot of footsteps from deep in attacker spawn, where attackers typically wouldn't believe they're being heard. So I think Shaz is going to get some early comms here to his teammates, and I would expect Furia to be going into a stacked site here.
I feel like QC is so on the edge of the... Okay, now he's certainly, surely, he must have heard.
Yeah, and you can even see Zoms is kind of like leaning a little bit towards B right now. But Tens has actually left the B site. He's dashed back towards it. He used his dash to get into B.
Maybe he didn't hear him mid after all, but with that said, they still have to breach that B choke point, and it's not looking great right now because, as you say, Tens is now in position, and they're going to go back here. QCK, oh, he catches Shazam. What does that tell them? They've got 20 seconds to plant the spike. This is a huge map, and they have to run all the way around. We've got the catch here in spawn as well. What on earth does this mean if you're Sentinels? They have to work this one out. In fact, Zombs will go forward. He'll find another one, but where is the spike? 10 seconds to plant the spike. Khalil's killing absolutely everybody, but the spike has to go down. There's just enough time here to get it planted, but there might be a player there. The wall's going to drop Zombs. Oh, just not going to be able to see anything in time. And there it goes. The spike is planting. Zombs can't quite find an angle on it, and there's the frag. QCK locks it in. What a crazy round. What a crazy finish to the first half. Furia, 8-4.
I can't believe it, Dan. They won one of the bleed out the clock type rounds. This is what Furia has been lacking all series long. They are massively in the driver's seat right now. 8-4 lead going into the defensive half.
Well, we want to take a quick breather. It's time to go back to the desk to talk about that half.
Thank you so much, DDK. Early on into that half, we all turned to each other and we said, what's it going to take for us to feel confident in Furia going into the back half of this map? And 8-4 was the answer, and they found it. They found it.
I mean, this was a really good half. A few key tactical mistakes in there, but otherwise, Dash, they were great.
It wasn't just the fact that they were great. You know who was very, very great? And I know that is not a phrase that I'm going to use as English pronunciation any way, shape, or form. Khalil. I think he ended that half 14-5 on the Killjoy. The man was unstoppable. And I know we usually look to the Jets here on Breeze, but the story's being told by the Killjoy here.
Yeah, top frag map 1, top fragging so far here on map number 2 for his team. It's the flanks. It's the way that they're utilizing him. And we even saw it there in the final round there as Shaz is rotating, getting caught off guard without his gun out because Khalil is positioned phenomenally.
Yeah, this is a really new kind of wrinkle to Khalil, really giving him a little bit more free reign. The coach putting a lot of trust in their key player here to give him the ability to go for the flanks, go for the wide angles, and find members of Sentinels not aware of his positioning.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a phenomenal player. I know you went absolutely nuclear on the pre-desk about him. You're like, you gotta watch this man. He just knows how to hit everything. He's awesome. And now he's playing a little bit of a different style to what you expected, and that's giving him even more free reign to do whatever he wants. This highlight reel should be enough to tell you that not only is he able to use his utility to peak success, it's not just that, he's also able to get the shots down on. And I know you and I was talking about before, the fact that Furia, they like to force on their second round. We haven't seen it. Yeah, man. I mean, they did it, and that was successful.
Yeah, this was something that I had put down in my notes. It wasn't something we got to talk about much because they won both the pistol rounds on Ascent. Right. So there was no reason for them to force, but this is something they are very keen to do, and you can see why, especially on the attacker side. It makes a lot of sense. This is their side. This is where they have to get their, their work done. They have to come through big. And there's no better way to do that than to catch the other team off guard a little bit, grabbing some bigger guns off of the opponent's anti-eco.
Now, 8-4, that does give us some confidence, but as we know, you can never count Sentinels out. They're a team that usually ramps up as time goes on, as they figure you out, and now they move themselves onto the attacking half. We're going to head back over to our casters, DDK and Sean, for the call.
And we are back into the second half. Furia, they are threatening Sentinels very much right now, Sean. 8-4, it's a huge first half, but this map is very different on the defense.
Yeah, on Sentinel's map pick nonetheless, Dan. But Sentinels, we're gearing up for a fast round here. Zombs is going to throw his Poison Orb in Halls. He's going to go Halls with Dapper. This is going to be a fast A split. 2 people are going to go up Sands. 10's picking into the site right now, though. Look, if you look at Furia, they're going to fast retake. There's 5 people here, Dan.
Oh, they might actually catch him before they get to the cross angle, and actually that's really interesting. Maybe it benefits Tens. He's got that Sheriff in hand doing the damage, dashing back, but Furia trading quite nicely, 3 versus 3. And in fact, it's now Furia that's one man to the good. And this is just deathmatch right now between these two teams. Oh, Tens edging forward, gets caught in the open, and Furia pick up another pistol round. Ooh, that's 3 of 4.
Furia 3 of 4, 9-4 right now in this map, Dan. Massive economic advantage on this round. Sometimes you see teams force buy on the second round if they get the spike down. Sentinels is in a scenario right now where they would have to make a really hobbled buy if they're going to buy here. Yeah. And they're not going to do that. Yeah. They're saving here, Dan. They have a Marshal on Sick, a Sheriff on Tens, a Sheriff on Dapper, so they're making light purchases here. But we could potentially be looking at a 10-4 scoreline here.
we've got the toxic screen set up on B for Furia to defend with. I really like that, actually.
They've shifted it over a little bit to the right so that way it fully blocks all the way into mid and leaves the gap along the back wall of B. That's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great spot there. Someone's creeping forward. And Furia don't have to do anything fancy here.
Ooh, Dapper has a great timing right now at B elbow. Dan, he went right by the Trailblazer. Ooh, but he doesn't take it. He falls back. And meanwhile in Halls, big presence being made by Zomz. He gets taken out by the double damage shock dart. Brutal.
And there we go. Some of the numbers whittled away for Sentinels. There is certainly strength in numbers when you're in a buy that is disadvantageous like this. But Xan has got a good timing. It's a good lick of damage there onto Sick as well. And has that forward position, just shutting down the choke point. Such a difficult player to deal with in a scenario like this. Oh my god, he's insane, but Sick is just as insane. What a shot. Okay, Sick, we'll try to reset. There's 20 seconds to go. They're in hot pursuit of Sick here. They really want to take him down.
Oh, dear. Yeah, Sick needs to die.
Yeah,
they might purposely let him live.
left.
You can see they're running away. They want him to save this Marshall. He can't make it to the site.
Oh dear.
Oh no, Dan, this is a disaster, and this is so well played by Furia to make him save this Marshall. He just wants someone to kill him.
And there it was all along the turret.
Oh, he doesn't get it, Dano! It's tragic.
It's so funny as well because the call definitely came. QCK looked hungry for that one. It was in hot pursuit, but yeah, great call there to force him to survive. The shame, the embarrassment, but more so the lack of money. I don't know how that works. I thought that had to be a no-scope.
Yeah.
But he somehow scoped in on that one.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that works.
That was crazy.
His reward is to keep the Marshal for another round, so.
Oh my god, another interesting, unique wall here at the B side, but this is an all-out mid-aggression on their bonus, Dan.
Yeah, there's a quick push there, and it makes a lot of sense. They're on these SMGs still. They have saved them from the previous round, so this fight in mid is certainly a good one to take for Furia. And it's a 3v3, and they're still on these Spectres, and now they're starting to find themselves in unfavorable fights, as we can see there in mid. So it gets the upgrade.
Yeah. This is where things get really tricky for Furia, because it's such a big map that once you spot one of these two players, you can probably just go to the other site blindly, or you could just go into that player knowing that the second isn't anywhere around him. So Sentinels has a massive advantage in this 3-on-2. It's even more of an advantage than some of the other maps in the pool.
Yeah, I completely agree. And with the Spectres still from the bonus,
caution here.
It's going to be hard to find much. You don't have that one-shot potential of a Vandal, a Sheriff.
Very good timing here from NZR, though. You can see Sentinels is pushed up aggressively. They have no one holding the flank, which is actually where both of these Furia players are coming from.
There is a recon available and two
Caution
shock darts for NZR.
I think they might be just trying to. I think they're trying to just box them in, Dan. Trying to take these guns out of the Sentinels' hands. They know this is a long game remaining, Dan, and Furia only need 3 more rounds. So doing economic damage is massive, but
Yeah.
Khalil will fall there. One more Spectre remains on NZR, and he's not getting lucky either. These players are all exiting defender spawn.
Yeah, you know, the classic move, okay, we found a safe exit. I believe it was Sick that cleared spawn. It's like, all right, guys, this is absolutely safe. Don't know about anything else, but let's just go to safe territory. And that's 5 to 10. Sentinels pick 1 up. But of course, that was the bonus for Furia. So that was sort of by design.
Yes, and I mean, Furia tried to make that as messy as possible with that mid push. And I think they're going for more of the same. They've done this every big round for a pistol, the bonus, and now again on their first gun round with the double elbow at the start of the round. They push aggressively into mid and have very fast retakes because of this.
Oh, some information there for both teams. Sentinels will realize there's likely something going on in mid.
Dapper and Sick lurking their way up A-halls right now, Dan. They're going up to the door. There's no trip, no alarm bot, nothing stopping them.
There's the recon, and that's going to get a tag. Beautiful, QCK picks up one, and they've got that mid control, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Xan is in the door, or around the door position, keeping it safe. So right now, Furia in a great position. Dapper trying to find something. You know exactly where he is, surely. QCK, though, can't take him down. He's spraying forward, NZR with the trade. 4 versus 3 in favor still Shazam. He's picked up a Hunter's Fury now.
He has that Hunter's Fury. The Viper Wall still online for Zoms. A very, very aggressive Viper Wall too. And Sentinels has all the control behind it. That's a lot of positions they can be in because of how pushed up this Viper Wall is. Hunter's Fury back in that stance position. He can ult the plant. He can ult the run in. Many options right now for the in-game leader. And there it is.
Oh, now they're actually going to be able to dodge this one. Perhaps another up jump comes through to do that. And TenZ is just making quick work of these players. A 3K comes through from TenZ in all of the madness around the Hunter's Fury. TenZ will strike. And that's another round for Sentinels. It was close, but it's a great recovery.
Jeez, yeah. Dodging the Hunter's Fury when TenZ is hunting you down. Imagine that. Imagine. Doesn't sound very fun.
That's hardly fair.
No, it's not very fair at all. Does look like free kills for TenZ, thanks to Shazam, making them jump all over the place. Oof. Much needed first gun round there for Sentinels. And you can feel the momentum starting to build now for Sentinels, right? They're still very far behind in this game, 10-6, but they forced Furia onto an eco. So you can see the distance starting to close.
Oh, Mouse. Thinking, yeah, going for the push here. 3B main. Oh, he's found one.
Spike
That
down
Marshall
mid.
sick, he's picked it up, and Xan in a deep position. Oh, the drone's going to tag QCK, and it might not spot Xan. Indeed, it did not, but oh, they might go into Xan now.
They might, Dan.
Exactly
Oh,
where you are.
Oh, the timing there, and he's going to be able to pick it up. That's a spike down as well. Chances now here for Furia to strike right back after losing a round. Spike's recovered. There's a lot of time, and they know that Xan is around the B site. Do they challenge it?
Dan, look at this. They are guessing absolutely wrong. The confidence on Sentinels to keep heading into this same site where the Neural Theft spotted everyone. It is a mind game being played right now for the in-game leader on the Sentinels team.
left.
And Zom's going to get that free plant 3-on-3. Bladestorm's still in play, though. And they're not messing around. The Viper's Pit immediately cast down. TenZ aggressively peeking into spawn. That's going to give all the information to Shazam, who hears this. Underfooting in mid.
Oh, but if he dies, he will give away a gun. 7 HP, so he's going to find the timing. Takes down one, they know that he's there on the back there. The recon comes out. Can he survive here? Again, oh, he's already understanding precisely where Jet is. Shazam doesn't even see you to kill you, as he will eventually get taken out, but he's basically won the round for his team. 1 HP on NZR. Not a good look. Coming out of the Viper's Pit, Zones will meet NZR. And Sentinels, once again, they are trailing, but it just seems like they're so hard to kill.
Yes. Yeah, it seems like, these guys aren't Cloud9. We saw them yesterday, but I swear, Sentinels has 9 lives. Like, these guys are insane. Every time they're down in a map, it seems like you have to have some incredible plays to shut them out, right? You have to come up big on an individual and tactical level if you want to defeat Sentinels. I've seen a lot of teams have leads on them. Not many close them out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Xan looking to go deep here with a main behind the Sky Flash.
He's through, Dan.
He is through, and there's Hunter's Fury, and oh, it's a freebie. Xan is going to be able to take him down. That's beautiful work. And TenZ is trying to find
pinned.
it. Oh
he has him
God.
pinned, Dan.
Yeah, Marsden was trying to support Xan, but he gets nailed by TenZ. So Xan is back out there alone. And here comes Zoms looking for the angle. The pre-peek from Xan. He's anticipating it. And that's a 3v2. And Dapper takes that QCK, that lurk.
The B site's open, but Dapper could get caught in this mid nest, Dan.
There's a drop. Oh, the timing is terrible for Dapper. Furia quickly rotating towards the site. Sick, alone in the 1v2.
Guiding light on deck, Dan. These two people are stuck so close together.
The reset coming through for Sick as he walks towards spawn. Wants to eliminate these positions. It's a great position. He does dodge the drone. They have no idea where Sick is. The element of surprise there's the sound cue, takes down one. There's almost to go. There's that quick pop flash. That gets him out of position. Oh, but he's spotted on the reposition. There's the engagement, and it's good for NCR. Oh, what a finish.
Wow, what a clutch from NZR. He just lobs out a recon. We've seen him do that a lot, actually, on these retakes throughout this series, Dan. Very just on-the-fly recon darts, right? Not these lineups that you're seeing around the scene right now. Just quick on-the-fly ones that can't be broken. Completely flusters Sick in that one-on-one. Massive round from the boys from Brazil.
That's amazing. And it's so cool to see in that 1v1. You can see that Sick is trying to reposition when his opponent cannot see him. But those small details kept the vision, and then Sick got stuck in the open in a position that was known. And that's the difference. If he's in the open, but he's on an off angle that's unknown, he wins that fight.
Yeah.
Huge, huge play.
That single recon won that round. That's
crazy.
Such a heads-up play to quickly toss that after getting blind.
And that's one of those rounds, we get the Sentinels timeout. That's one of those rounds that could break their back. Right now, Sentinels have no money after this buy.
Yeah.
If they lose this buy, I think we're going to 3 maps.
I think so too, Dan. I think, they're on the back foot right now. They are definitely not in the driver's seat of this map right now. I would favor Furia. But I said that also on Ascent, right? This is a different team, and you can see Raucus, the new coach right there on Sentinels, has a lot to say. I really like seeing that, right? We haven't really seen a match with him on the team, and you can see he's having impact in the team. He's very vocal right now in this TAC timeout for Sentinels.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, yeah, that is a completely new sight for Sentinels. Usually it's just all on the back of the 5 players that you see sat at the computers on stage.
Yeah, perhaps one of the craziest things in the scene is our best team was a team without a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, all done with Shazam as in this in-game leader role. They finally have gotten their coach coming into this tournament. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not impressed so far by the new look of Sentinels. They've given a couple new looks.
Yep.
But this TAC timeout, this is a good test right now for Raucus.
Yeah, the whole thing is all about the coach is that you have a perspective that's not in the game.
Yes.
Every single player, okay, I got to explain that. Every single player has their own point of view, but he can see everything.
Oh, damn, we're live right here.
Oh, wait, let's
the Seekers are going into the connector right now. This is a super fast A-split.
Straight in. The defense is still in place, though. We've got players backside. Great sharp shooting from Maz at a distance, but Tens is even better. They're taking down Khalil. And they are just trading kills like crazy right now. Tens is doing so much damage, but oh my god, it's hard to actually follow, but we get the 2v2 at the end, and the spike goes down. Drone looking for some information there as Tens resets onto the flank. Around Cave.
QCK will flank here. It's going to be a very long flank, and Tens could get timed on this flank. The 1v1 between the Sova is huge as well, but Tens is distracted, and the flank is getting closer, Dan.
Oh, the distraction. It's still there. It's still there. And in fact, he wins the battle. Oh, no! QCK is going to make that flank look fantastic. I don't even know how Tens loses that fight. What a beautiful play from the remainder of Furia in that 2v2. That's I can't believe it.
Yeah, he did everything he could. He did everything that Sentinels would ask of him. He found 3 on the round to open things up. They get in a clean 2v2. The Sova's in the site. But the 2v2s are finally going Furia's way. The mid-round, the late rounds, everything is falling in the Brazilian team's favor now. Where in the past, we saw that veteran experience come up big for Sentinels, it's missing here.
Oh my god, Tens is a machine. NZR winning the heads-up 1v1 there against Tens is honestly outrageous.
Yes.
That he wins that. And that's just, we talked about that being the round that could break the back and win the map. There is still fight left in Sentinels yet, but it's going to be tough. Tens already updraft off the back of the Bladestorm, drone through to the B site.
Spotted no one was Nest, so you can see he's playing really, really aggressive right now. He's taking these angles without any utility help from his teammates. He's going back into B, though. This is an all-out B hit, Dan. It's do or die right now for Sentinels. Dapper lurking in mid all by himself. 4 players over here at B. The wall's already up. They have nothing to fall back to A with.
Nowhere to run!
Oh, the Hunter's Fury comes in as well. Is he going to be able to find any damage? Oh, does actually tag some players, but oh, it's actually not too much of a tag.
Spike planted.
I think actually Tens got hit by something else at the same time.
Yeah, Tens actually got hit by the Hunter's Fury. That makes him a one-shot to a Phantom. Keep that in mind, Dan.
QCK will take down Shazam there as well, so threatening everything at the moment. That mid position from Dapper, not expected. Little hops here from Tens. Hot shots to hit, but of course he finds it! And with that, 3 left here on the retake attempt. There is time still for Furia, but they have to force the issue. They don't know what Dapper's doing. You can see that presence in mid is just so painful to have to constantly worry about. And Dapper, knowing they're not going for it, trying to get into a position to cut them off, but he will get taken down finally. What a round here from TenZ. He's just trying to eliminate everybody, but there we go. Sentinels stay in it. One more round. Can they do it? 4 more times.
Yeah, 4 more times then. Jeez, look at that scoreboard. TenZ, 19 and 16. But again, like the first map, he's putting up these numbers, but it doesn't feel like a TenZ performance, right? I don't feel the early round domination. I'm getting the highlights. I'm like these rounds right here, he'll bust out and he'll win Sentinels those rounds. But something's missing from Sentinels in this game so far. I'm not really sure what it is right now watching, but this is another one of those really fast A balls controlled rounds that Sentinels keeps on running.
And this time we've got Xan on the Blaze Storm, going deep in middle, looking to see what he can find. Not too much there in mid for him just yet. You can see Sentinels have slowed the pace. Got that deep poison orb in holes. Dapper lurking up against it. The coactive Fury out there making so much noise. Dapper hears everything, of course, as will TenZ.
Yeah, this playstyle from Furia has caught Sentinels off a lot, but this round not on 6 watch. Gets the first frag, falls back. Sentinels still in that base passive setup, and Dapper has lurked through halls, Dan. He's through.
Oh no. Do they understand? Okay, well the turret's there, that's good. That's going to cover that eventuality for Khalil. Reposition for Khalil, we'll keep him safe for now. Xan still in the picture. 4 versus 5 though for Furia. They need something special. What a shot from TenZ. Takes down Xan. That's the Blaze Storm out of the round for Furia. And they are getting whittled away. Pulled apart one by one. Nice little shot from QCK, but there's more to find, of course. And Sentinels have a fully stacked site.
Indeed, and this is getting to the point, right? We're deep in this match, and every gun matters. Furia has to be looking at this 2-on-4 now as, you know, an economic decision. It's not just whether we can win the round or lose the round. Can we take these weapons into the next round? What's the optimal way to get as many buys as possible in these last 3 rounds? So they're going to opt to save these guns. They still have the lockdown on Khalil. They have the Hunter's Fury on NZR, the Blaze Storm on Xan. We're going to get another buy in the next round. And Sentinels is definitely not out of in the clear yet.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the ultimates that are in play for Furia, they will have nearly everything. And so that advantage certainly exists because Sentinels are very far away from a sort of meaningful ult in terms of, you know, actually execing a site or anything like that. All they have right now is a neural theft. So Furia, you know, if they have good retake setups, if they've, you know, if they've got openings with these.
I'm going to cut you off, Dan. This is a massive change of pace round that I'm seeing right now at Sentinels. I'm seeing Zoms over at this A site, and I'm seeing 4 people right now grouped up to the B barrier. I really think we're going to get the first misdirection type of round from Sentinels, where Zoms is going to try to fake this A site. He's running away already. He just poison orbed the halls just to try to initiate that same default pressure on the halls player. But if you look, this is 100% going to B site, and it is open. Furia has fallen for this completely.
They've got the backside wall for the retake, and let's not forget, they have, if they want it, that lockdown as well. And the Hunter's Fury. They can trap Sentinels into very few positions.
I really don't know where you would use the lockdown from, though. Where could you possibly use that from to retake this massive site?
Maybe the elbow position. Looks like they're going for it. There it goes.
Wow,
and it's going to cover most of the site. Oh, they're going to try to defend this one. Can they do it? Zom's tapping away, and he's taking down absolutely everybody. And the lockdown's been destroyed as well. And that's going to keep players alive on the site. Updraft into an elevated position for TenZ. Leaves very little to work with. Sentinels staying alive another round. And now they have the ult advantage because they just forced Furia to burn all of theirs.
Yes. That's a little scary now if you're Furia. You're playing with fire. You're getting close into the edge of this game using ults right there in your eco round. And Zoms, boy oh boy did he need to come up big here. This would have been heartbreaking to lose to a buy like this with a lockdown to retake the B site. Massive 3K by him, breaking the lockdown.
Another timeout.
This is awesome. I mean, this is one of the first games I've seen both teams actively use their timeouts.
Yeah.
You know, come in with refreshed looks after each one. There's been so many ways both of these teams have adapted throughout this series. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it's going right to the last here. Can Sentinels complete the comeback? And I mean, there's a huge test here of resiliency for Furia to not be too hasty, to hold their nerve, to be calm under the pressure that right now, even though Sentinels are down 2 rounds and they have to force overtime, absolutely Sentinels feel more confident.
Yeah, oh, I completely agree. They definitely feel more confident right now. And it's weird, they've always had this swagger to them. Even when they're down in matches, they're always confident in taking their aim duels in the server, right? I see a lot of teams shell up, not this one. But I will say this, they have yet to realize that Furia is leaving the B site actively almost every round by playing this aggressive mid setup, and they're going to do it again to Sentinels. I can see the setup now. The Sky and Jet are going to take control of this mid pillar. Yet again, they're going to be in the mid doors for an A split, which looks like it's going to happen. Zom's smoking the A-Hall's door right now for Dapper's lurk. You know, Sick going to use the Trailblazer up over here at A. Chaz actually might drone with it.
There's that Trailblazer looking for the early info. Gets taken down by QCK on A. The aggressive, or rather the Viper wall coming in from both sides on the A side. And there's so much mid control indeed. Furia likely have a good read of Sentinel's position. The flash comes through. There goes Ted straight through it. He's looking for that opening now. Where is QCK? Trying to find him. The Seeker's trying to give that information to him. QCK stays alive.
Dear.
There's the tag though. Oh, QCK under so much pressure. Trying to stay alive. Trying to find the right way to engage this one and get his teammates into position. Tens actually burns the dash. And this is a slow assault from Sentinels. That's buying time for Furia to get in position. Dapper there by the door. Tries to drop it, but he's denied by NZR.
Oh
this is so scary.
God, this is terrifying.
Oh,
and Tens
my
comes
God.
up big. The spiping headshot.
But there it comes straight back his way from NZR from that position once more. And Sentinels again, 20 seconds left to try to plant this spike. Marzin's still in position to try to deny that. Smoke or no. And again, just playing with that door. And they're just going down on the cross, and it's Furia with all the kills, leaving just Dapper 1 versus 3, and Furia have done it. They have taken down Sentinels. 1 map in this best of 3. We're going to a 3rd.
Let's go, Dan. I never thought it would happen today, but here we have, you know, the inexperienced Brazilian squad coming in from the LCQ nonetheless to take out the potential #1 team in the world on their own map pick.
Yeah,
wow.
Such a great performance. We talked about how the team that's in their position, the inexperienced teams,
Yes.
holding your nerve can be very difficult. Being composed can be very difficult. And we just saw in that last round that they showed that they can do that. They've got Tens trying to get these picks coming in with the operator. They've got these intense battles, but they're still connecting their shots.
Yes.
That bodes very well going into another map here. I'm worried for Sentinels right now.
I'm terrified. Tens was looking for those fights. He was mega confident. All the utility was there. Perfect lurk in the halls by Dapper. But if you look at the positioning, the jiggle peaks from Furia, they never committed to fights. They never overcommitted. They knew they had 5 players there the whole time. They made Sentinels come into the site, and they just couldn't get there.
They could not get there. And in my brain, I had to kind of rack my brains here to understand what even is the 3rd map, because I don't
even remember.
I'm pretty sure it's Haven.
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
But that's the thing, because this is not a series that I think anyone had pegged to go 3.
No. I think you made the joke with me before the series started, and I even kind of smirked like there's just no shot. We would not be blessed with that, Dan. Not today, not here. But here we are, and this was a 2nd map where Tens led the server in first blood. I'm sorry, he did not lead the server. That was actually QCK. He had 5 though, leading his team. He's on top of the scoreboard for the entire server. 40 ACS, 33 ACS. He's way ahead of everyone else. This is a game where their star player performed and they still lost.
I am so impressed. I'm really impressed right now, and I'm extremely excited as well. because we have a third map in this series. So please don't go anywhere. This is not done just yet. We'll head to a break and then we'll be back with map 3 between Furia and Sentinels.